Terrence Crawford's audacious call-out of Canelo Alvarez isn't going unnoticed, and it's igniting a firestorm of reactions that's hotter than a desert showdown in Vegas. Fresh off his hard-fought victory over Madrimov, Crawford's waxing lyrical, and his hunger for greatness seems insatiable as he sets his sights on the king of the middleweights. In his post-fight euphoria, Crawford didn't mince words saying, "If the money's right, you've got to fight," he declared, hinting at a potentially massive offer heading Canelo's way. But when pressed on the importance of facing Alvarez, Crawford played it cool. "It's not so important to me. It's just another milestone to greatness, I suppose. And financially wise." Let's be real though, Madrimov gave Crawford more than a few headaches, pushing the American to his limits. This begs the question, is Crawford biting off more than he can chew by eyeing Canelo at 168 pounds? Crawford, ever the confident warrior, brushed off concerns about moving up in weight. "Not at all worried," he asserted. "I'm pretty sure this guy could fight at 160. This guy is big. In the amateurs, he fought at a higher weight than he is now and was very competitive." But hold your horses, fight fans. Canelo's not exactly rolling out the red carpet for Crawford. The Mexican superstar fired back, declaring he has no intention of dropping weight for the fight. "I have everything to lose and nothing to gain," Canelo told Box Azteca. "If I win, they'll say, oh, he was too small, and everything." Canelo's already got his dance card filled, set to face rising star Edgar Berlanga in Las Vegas on September 14th. But a win there could potentially set the stage for a Crawford showdown, a clash that could determine the pound-for-pound king of the sport. With Crawford's audacious challenge echoing through the boxing world, the sport's biggest names couldn't help but weigh in on this potential clash of titans. From ringside pundits to fellow fighters, everyone's got an opinion on whether Bud's ambition is admirable or misguided. Let's dive into the firestorm of reactions that's got the fight game buzzing louder than a packed arena on fight night. Eddie Hearn, known for his candid opinions, has dismissed the idea of a Crawford-Canelo matchup at 168 pounds as unrealistic. Despite Crawford's recent WBA super welterweight title win and apparent eagerness to face Alvarez, the undisputed 168-pound champion, Hearn believes such a jump in weight would be too much for Bud. In an interview with the Stomping Ground following his client Madrimov's first career loss, the Matchroom boxing chairman advised Crawford to focus on his new weight class of 154 pounds instead. Hearn stated, "Crawford can't fight at 168. The trouble he had against Madrimov wasn't necessarily because of size alone, but also due to movement. At 168, Canelo would mow through him. He should aim for the big names at 154 instead." Hearn's comments suggest that while Crawford's skills are formidable, the leap to super middleweight would be too great a challenge, potentially putting him at a significant disadvantage against a seasoned champion like Canelo Alvarez.
And I don't think that was a performance that dethroned the champion. Much respect to him, I love Bud. But I'm really pissed off that we didn't get any kind of shake on those scorecards.
Eddie, I'll be honest, I was a little bit surprised when I heard about the sort of plan for Crawford against Canelo.
He can't
he started at 135, that was at 154.
Listen.
While Eddie Hearn expresses skepticism about Crawford's prospects at 168 pounds, not everyone in the boxing world shares his view. Former middleweight champion Danny Jacobs offers a more optimistic perspective on the potential Crawford-Canelo matchup. Jacobs acknowledges Crawford's exceptional technical skills, but also emphasizes the significant challenge posed by Canelo's renowned punch resistance. Despite this, Jacobs believes that Crawford possesses the talent to make the leap from 154 to 168 pounds and compete with Canelo sometime in 2025. While Eddie Hearn expresses skepticism, others offer more optimistic views. Jim Lampley, a longtime admirer of Crawford, praised Bud's evolution, but questioned if he could rock Canelo the way he did Errol Spence. Meanwhile, Paulie Malignaggi didn't hold back on ProBox TV, asserting that Canelo's size would be too much for Crawford. "I think pound for pound is better, he's overall more skilled, but I think Canelo is too big. He's too big. Don't get me wrong, if I'm wrong, it wouldn't be the first time I'm wrong about Crawford. I thought Jeff Hearn might be too big because he's a physical 154-pounder, and I thought Crawford, being an ex-lightweight, might not be able to hang with the physicality of Hearn. I was wrong there, but now you're asking me to jump again a couple more weight classes." Malignaggi went further, expressing his lack of interest in the matchup, but acknowledging its appeal to a broader audience. "I don't know. I think it's too much. I think it would reel in all the casual idiots, and they'd probably make it a bigger fight than it needs to be. I'd rather see Crawford in more interesting matchups from a boxing perspective. I don't think Crawford and Canelo is interesting from a boxing perspective. I think it's interesting from an idiot casual perspective." He also agreed with Canelo, who has said he would get no credit for beating a smaller man in Crawford, especially with 168-pound contenders like David Benavidez and David Morrell waiting in the wings. On the other hand, Tim Bradley is backing his boy Bud all the way, comparing Crawford's ring IQ to that of Floyd Mayweather. In an interview, Bradley said Crawford's skills are up there with the greatest in the sport. "It's a tough task for Terrence," Bradley said, of a possible fight with Canelo. "But at the same time, I would back him. I would pick Terrence Crawford to beat Canelo Alvarez, even at 168. I think that his skill level is up there with the greatest. I don't think we've ever seen anything like Terrence Crawford." I do study history. I've never seen anybody that has everything. Good speed, power, timing, can switch the way he switches. The meanness that he has, the way he finishes guys, the way he breaks down guys. He's one of the smartest guys that I've ever seen in the ring, right up there with Floyd Mayweather.
At the same time, I will bag him. I think that his skill level is up there with the greatest. I don't think we've seen anything like Terrence Crawford. In all my years of boxing, I know that for a fact. I do study history. I've never seen anybody that has everything. Good speed, power, timing, can switch the way he switches, to have the toughness, the meanness that he has, the way he finishes guys, the way he breaks down guys. He's one of the smartest guys that I've ever seen in the ring, right up there with Floyd Mayweather. So, yeah, I would pick Terrence Crawford to beat a Canelo Alvarez, even at 168. Everybody can call me crazy and whatever you want to say. I get it. Y'all didn't believe me when I told you about Spence, but trust me, Crawford will figure out a way. I know a secret y'all don't know, and I ain't gonna tell you why I would pick Terrence Crawford, but it's part of the secret is the reason why I'm picking him to win the fight. So
Crawford's coming off a closer than expected win over Israel Madrimov, capturing his 4th division world title. But man, it was no walk in the park. The judges' scorecards read 116 to 112, 115, 113, and 115, 113, all in favor of Bud. But let's be real, this wasn't the dominant Crawford we're used to seeing. Now, Crawford's eyeing the big money fight with Canelo, but is he biting off more than he can chew? I mean, we're talking about jumping from 154 to 168 pounds. That's not just a step up, that's a leap into the boxing stratosphere. Some fans are all for it. One commented, "Usyk has proved that if you're skilled enough, you can beat much bigger opponents. I see Crawford v. Canelo as a very intriguing 50-50 fight that I'd love to see." But others, not so much. As one fan put it, Crawford is excellent, but he struggled at light middleweight last night and looked vulnerable for the first time in a decade or so, and a fight at super middleweight will be a stretch too far. Johnny from the Johnny Says YouTube channel broke it down, analyzing the weight class history of both fighters over the past 10 years. He pointed out that there's consistently been about a 20-pound gap between their fighting weights. That's a lot of ground for Crawford to make up, but here's where it gets interesting. His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, the man behind Crawford's recent fight, wants to make Canelo versus Crawford happen next. He's reportedly ready to offer Alvarez a fight if he's victorious in his title defense next month against Edgar Berlanga. Now, some fans see this as Canelo's chance to take an easy fight. One commented, "This the only way to get Canelo to take a real fight? If he has to have so much of an advantage, so be it." But others, they're not buying it. As one fan put it, Canelo would be fighting his way to the contract table to sign up for this fight. Crawford, in the eyes of many, was fortunate to get the nod in this against a 10-fight pro and thus has zero chance against a champion like Alvarez, who would literally pummel him. And let's talk about that Crawford performance against Madrimov. It wasn't exactly the kind of showing that screams, "I'm ready for Canelo." Some fans are even suggesting Crawford needs more time to acclimate to the higher weight classes. One commented, "Crawford should bide his time and really crank it out in terms of activity. He cannot afford to fight only once a year if he wishes to fight Canelo and win." But let's be real, this is boxing, and money talks. As Crawford himself said, if the money is right, we gotta fight. And with Al-Sheikh reportedly ready to throw down some serious cash, this fight might just happen whether we think it's a good idea or not. Now, some fans are excited about the potential for an upset. One commented, "I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo stopped him, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Crawford won by decision." But others? They're not so optimistic. As one fan bluntly put it, Canelo beats him every day of the week. But hey, this is boxing and anything can happen when two warriors step into that ring. As one fan put it, Crawford is a great, complete fighter. But moving from 154 straight to a Canelo fight at 168 is too big a mountain to climb. So what do you think, fight fans? Is Crawford biting off more than he can chew? Or could we be in for the upset of the century? Is this the fight that boxing needs right now? Or are we setting ourselves up for disappointment? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more boxing content. Until next time, keep those hands up and chins down. This is The Sweet Science. And as Crawford just proved against Madrimov, it's anyone's game on any given night. Peace out.